The veranda was quiet again, but not in the way it used to be. Poochie's legs were steady now. She stretched in the first light, groomed with slow, neat licks, and dozed on the mat like a cat who had learned the shape of safety. Yet the air carried a different kind of tension, the kind that lives in corners and waits for night. They had begun to come, at first one tomcat, tail high, pacing along the railing with a swagger that made Poochie go still. Then another, voice like rusted metal. Some nights there were scuffles outside the gate, low growls, sudden yowls, the thud of bodies striking tin. Once, a rangy street dog trotted too close, nose lifted, curious at the scent that clung to the tiles. Poochie's back would rise like a wave, her pupils wide, ears tilted back. She didn't run, not immediately. She measured the distance to the mat, to the door, to the blue dark beyond. Mom watched from the doorway, jaw tight. This was not the same fear as before, sharp and medical and over in a day. This fear was patient. It waited and it multiplied. One evening the quiet split open. Two toms had Poochie cornered near the building's turn, shoulders rolling, mouths open in hissed boasts. Mom grabbed the nearest thing, the old feather duster with the broken handle, the duster of doom, as the house had begun to call it, and charged, clap, clap, a fierce whisper, go. The birds in the neem tree exploded into the air, the toms vanished over the wall like smoke. Poochie darted back to the veranda and sat very small on the mat, heart beating like a trapped butterfly. That night, with the lamp low and the door ajar, Mom stared at the empty bowl and thought the thoughts she didn't say aloud. Poochie wasn't a kitten anymore. The world had noticed. There would be more cats, more fights, more danger. Love had to become something braver. In the morning, the phone filled with numbers again. Animal clinics, rescuers, people who knew people. Spay camp next month, maybe. Bring her in a carrier. We can't do home surgery. You'll need a crate, a crate. The very word felt like a door closing. They did not have one, so Mom improvised. A cardboard box with neat round air holes, a plastic storage tub lined with a towel, a mesh lid tied in place, a bigger Kinder box with a pillowcase that smelled like home. Poochie investigated each with careful whiskers, one paw lifted, breath tasting every seam. She stepped in and backed out, turned, and left. When the lid rattled on its hinges, her body flashed into flight, a soft thunder of paws across tile and down the stairs, as if the world had turned into hands again. Mom followed with murmurs and patience, and treats held out like hope. Not now, she whispered once, crouched beside a parked scooter where two eyes glowed from beneath. Not today. Come home. After a long, long minute, Poochie slid out, thin and silent and proud. She walked ahead, and Mom walked behind, as if they both understood that trust must be allowed to choose its own speed. They tried again another day. This time the box sat beside the mat for an hour, harmless, patient. Poochie napped, stretched, sniffed the edge, and accepted a small lick of wet food on a spoon. But the moment the lid shifted, that old fear rose like a storm. She melted from the mat and left only the echo of her absence. As the sun fell, the veranda became gold at the edges and blue at the rail. Somewhere a tomcat sang a question. Farther off, a dog barked twice, bored. Mom sat with the box beside her and hands empty. How do you explain love, she thought, to someone who only remembers the pain of being held? Poochie returned at dusk, as she always did. Not quite close, not quite far. She settled on the mat with her back to the open door and her gaze on the garden. Mom watched from the threshold, book open but unread. No lid moved, no hands reached. The lamp threw a thin line of light that touched the tip of Poochie's tail. They stayed like that for a long time, the box between them like a promise, still learning how to be kept. Tomorrow, Mom would call more numbers. Tomorrow, there would be another plan. For her own good and for love that was learning, again, to be brave.